Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1243.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about rules for unmarried couples who are buying homes, because unmarried couples make up 18% of all first-time home buyers, and that's up from just 4% in 1985, according to a 2022 report by the National Association of Realtors. The NAR mailed out a survey in July 2022 and received a total of 4,854 responses from homebuyers who bought a primary residence between July 2021 and June of 2022. And what it showed is unmarried couples have been on the rise as homebuyers, and now they're at the highest point that's been recorded, said Jessica Lutz, the Washington, D.C.-based Vice President of Research of the National Association of Realtors. So, of course, with the price of housing being what it is, with interest rates being higher, it's getting a lot more difficult to buy a home. And so couples who are not married or people who are in relationships and have a partner are deciding to buy homes together. So what do you need to think about if you're not married and you're considering joining forces to purchase a home? Well, first of all, realize that it's going to take a financial sacrifice in order to come up with the funds for the home. About 46% of people have made financial sacrifices, including picking up secondary jobs to finance their purchase, the NAR report found. Some other things they're doing is cutting spending on non-essential goods, cutting spending on entertainment, cutting spending on clothes, taking a second job, as I said, making minimum payments on bills, canceling vacation plans. But in spite of all of that, 46% made no sacrifices when buying a home. The typical unmarried couple buying a home together for the first time was roughly 32 old millennials with a combined average household income of $72,500. Additionally, these buyers were more likely than married couples to receive loans, 4% versus 3%, or be gifted the money from friends and family, 12% versus 7%. One reason that unmarried people may decide to buy homes together is the strength in numbers that pairing up offers when it comes to qualifying for financing. As real estate prices and interest rates remain high, said Melissa Cohn, Regional Vice President of William Ravis Mortgage in New York. So it's a little bit more complicated not being married to your partner and buying a home together, and you really have no legal obligation to the other party until you purchase something like a major property together. And to protect your investment in the property, you need to think about what are your legal rights about ownership, as well as what happens if something should happen to one of you. And that's why you want to talk to an attorney about your options. Some of your options might include titling the property as joint tenancy with right of survivorship, if your ownership is equal, or as tenancy in common if one partner is contributing more financially. You also could consider using a limited liability corporation or other entity, Cohn suggested. By taking title in an entity like an LLC or partnership, you can better spell out and define who's responsible for what portion, she said. You can also protect your share of investments by outlining them in a property agreement. It defines who's responsible for the mortgage, how much each person is putting into the down payment, and who's paying for the insurance and home repairs. And that's a really good idea, especially if one person has a higher income than another. So here are 3 factors unmarried homebuyers should consider. According to Kathy Curtis, founder and CEO of Curtis Financial Planning in Oakland, California. Number 1, carefully weigh tapping into retirement accounts for a down payment. While it's generally not the best idea to pull from retirement funds, millennials still have years to recover, said Curtis. The reality is, for most millennials, this is where most savings happens. Funds in a traditional IRA can be used for a first-time home purchase up to the lifetime limit of $10,000. The amount will be taxed at ordinary rates in the year withdrawn, but will not incur a 10% penalty if it's a first-time home purchase. Roth IRAs can be accessed as well, but the rules must be followed closely. You can typically withdraw contributions at any time without incurring taxes or penalties, but there are age and time requirements for withdrawn investments to count as a qualified distribution, said Curtis. Many companies allow employees to borrow from their 401k plans. An employee can borrow 50% of their invested balance up to a maximum of $50,000. If a person has $100,000 or more, they can borrow $50,000, said Curtis. If they only have $70,000, they can borrow up to $35,000. Loans must be paid back over 5 years or in full if employment ends. A second point is review credit reports and scores to ensure you get the best mortgage rate possible. Make sure there are no inaccuracies, diligently pay your bills on time, and reduce your debt levels as much as possible before the purchase. Keep in mind that lenders will look at both partners' scores if both are on the mortgage application. Yeah, that's right, and I have a great way to pay down debt and raise your credit score at the same time. If you haven't already listened to that episode, you can check that out. And number 3, keep credit activity low. Avoid making any large purchases on credit cards, as well as opening or closing new lines of credit, as any of these could affect your credit score. Of course, you're going to want to save as much money as you can, save as much for the down payment as possible, and even consider getting multiple offers for your potential mortgage rates. With the reality of more people living together, buying a home together is becoming more common, and about 3 in 5 unmarried couples in the U.S. live with their partners. So splitting the cost of housing, which is probably the biggest part of your budget, can make sense for a lot of couples. Just make sure that you've protected your rights, you've thought about all different scenarios, and have the proper legal documents supporting your relationship and your biggest investment. So always seek out good legal advice before making any kind of an investment together. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available so you never miss one of them. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.